I'm Shannon Schulz. We farm in the Harquahala Valley, which is about 75 miles west of Phoenix. We've been in this valley since 1981. We farm 3,700 acres of alfalfa, a little bit of cotton, a little bit of small grains. So we grow it, we bale our own hay, we haul our own hay, and we have a hay press that we export. We take your order. We bring our hay in, or hay that we buy from other customers, and we press that hay and send it to your customers around the world. We send them to China mainly as our main customer. Last year we ran about 36,000 tons of hay through our press. This year we'll run somewhere around 65,000 tons of hay through our press. We had been baling with the same type of balers year after year after year. We'd been approached about buying a steamer. We couldn't make the numbers work. We just felt like it was too expensive. We didn't buy one. We should have bought one way back. We watched our neighbors put up hay with a baler, and they were having a hard time getting stacks to stand up. The stacks would want to fall down. The bales were soft, they couldn't get them square, they struggled with it. They bought a steamer, their stacks got square, their bales got square, the leaf retention was there. We called and said, we got to have one of these. We demoed one and we ordered one immediately, started with it. Our customers on our press came from China, looked at the hay in the stack here, so looked at the finished product, went back to China, tracked those loads, looked at that on the other end. They said, we only want steamed hay. We have certain customers in China, that's all they will buy is steamed hay. It is written into our contracts that it must be steamed hay. Those customers like the hay so much, they ordered double what they ordered last year, just because the hay will stay together in the bale. It looks the part. When it gets there, it's not dry and crunchy and crumbly. The leaf pattern is in the bale. That's why we were able to increase our sales. They request steamed hay now. Our Chinese customers request steamed hay. That's a fact. We decrease our pressure to keep the same bale weight when we're pressing steamed hay versus non-steamed hay. Our loss is 0.5% difference from inbound trucks, across the scale, through the press, into the container. We lose 0.5% less. At 50,000 tons at $300 a hay delivered, $330 a hay delivered, that's $50,000 to $75,000 a year just in loss difference in non-steamed and steamed hay. That's huge. In our mind, that's worth having the steamer right there, let alone what we're gaining in the field. We're gaining in the field, we believe, 15%. That's not moisture, that's leaf. The moisture is minimal because the steam dissipates. We're gaining 15% leaf in those bales in the field consistently. Our average yield here is 10 tons to the acre. If we add 15%, that's 1.5 tons at $200 a ton on 3,000 acres, $1 million added. We've paid for 2 machines in 1 year. We can go to work at a certain time at night, no matter what the moisture is. If it's dry, zero moisture, the wind's blowing a little, we just turn the steam up a little higher. We put the same hay up then as we do when we have a little bit of dew. Next cutting, we'll add another steamer in because the temperatures will start to rise. We'll need to start later at night because it's a little cooler then. We want that ambient temperature to get down below 90 degrees. You know, we're gonna see 100 degrees here in the next 7 days. And so we'll run 2 steamers. They'll be able to do it really easy. They'll bale 6 hours a night. I'll take one guy off of a steamer and baler, let him run the night. He'll jump on a rake and rake hay in the morning so he gets enough hours. Before, we had a crew of 6 guys. We have a crew of 3 guys that do the same thing now. We run 1 rotary swather. We run that machine. That'll cut 3,700 acres each time. I almost cut my labor force in half because we can be consistent. We never knew before when we were gonna be able to bale. Was it gonna be at 6 in the evening, 2 in the morning, 5 a.m.? What was it gonna look like? The biggie, we don't get behind. We can bale hay every single night unless it's raining. If the wind's blowing, we bale hay. If there's moisture, we start earlier. We don't get behind. Before, we would get behind and say, okay, tonight's too dry. We're not baling and ruining this hay, it's too nice. So we roll it till tomorrow. Now we have tomorrow's hay and yesterday's hay to bale. So now with the steamer, we don't do that. We bale today's hay today and tomorrow's hay tomorrow. I mean, it's a huge difference. I have a guy that has 5 kids. He's my baler guy. I'll put him up against any baler guy in America. He's that good. That guy goes to work. Eddie baled 3,700 acres in 28 days with 1 steamer, 1 baler, 1 tractor, 1 man. No problem. Ran 8 to 9, 10 hours a night, baled all that hay, and it all looks perfect. He still works at night. He's home to see his kids get on the school bus. He gets up, sees those kids before they go to bed, can help them do homework and stuff when they get home from school. he's got a much better life. I'm not worried about my guys running mornings, nights, middle of the day. When are we gonna get hay baled? When are we not gonna get hay baled? Did we leave hay laying? Oh my gosh, you know, we're behind now. We should have baled 150 today, we baled 0. Now tomorrow we have 300 to bale. There's lots of times, and anybody that's baled hay and says they haven't put up hay too dry hasn't baled enough hay. You just bale hay too dry sometimes because you gotta catch up. We didn't do it one time last year. Not once did we do that. We baled hay with moisture every time because we turned the steam. The labor cost is so much different, plus the biggie is we keep the leaves in the bale. We're not dropping the leaves out on the ground. We don't see that green windrow or the green dust coming out the top. When you come up to the bale, you can see the flakes of hay. You can peel that thing back and drop flakes of hay. Big bales don't normally flake very well in this country. Usually you cut the strings and the bale falls apart. The leaves may be in there, but they're bone dry. Now we can flake that hay, huge difference. This hay in particular here is it's nice hay, baled on natural moisture. That hay was probably baled somewhere between 3 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning. So coming in, the moisture's light, the hay is a little drier. In the peak of it, it looks really good. And then as the moisture goes away, the stack gets dry. You can go through this hay stack and you can see, I can tell you, this was probably coming into moisture, this was in moisture, this was out. If you go to the stack further over in this barn a couple of 100 feet, it all looks exactly the same because it was baled with a steamer. We always keep it at 12, 13, 14%. It's never 7 and it's never 16. We've got a customer that actually has 4 steamers. And this particular farm we're buying the hay off of, he's not running a steamer. I told him the other day, hey, you gotta bring the steamer back because you're sending me non-steamed hay and the steamed hay looks a lot better. You need to bring your steamer back and sell me that steamed hay rather than this non-steamed hay. They do a great job, but they do an even better job with a steamer. When we're pressing hay and you're pressing non-steamed hay, you'll see the dust coming out of the press. My crew's covered in dust. They wear a dust mask all the time, but when you run the steamed hay, the dust is not there. The chaff, as we press those bales out the backside of that press, anybody that's run a press knows, chaff is waste. We scoop that up in a pile, we put it in a bale, and we take 30% of what the value of the hay is. If you can save 1%, again, there's more money. A lot of companies you buy equipment from, when it walks out the door, that's it. Your company calls, follows up. How's it going? How does it look? Is there anything we need to know? A lot of times you lose that service. We feel like we have a connection or we have an issue. We had a problem and it was on a control board on a boiler. I don't remember what it was, and it wouldn't stay lit. We called Dave and said, hey Dave, we got this problem. He said, check this, check that, and in 5 minutes, that thing was running. It was a ground wire that had come loose. We fixed the ground wire, the machine went to running. But it's just the big company versus someone that the family's entrenched in the company. Somebody I can call like you guys and say, hey, this is what's going on. Did this machine pay for itself fast? Yes. I've owned lots of machinery. My dad owned lots of machinery. My dad passed away about 9 weeks ago. We talked about it a bunch, about machines. We talked about this steamer. He said, son, I don't know if we can pay for this thing. We ran that thing and he thought it was the best thing. He said, the Staley West steamer is the best piece of machinery I ever bought. Our neighbors thought I was crazy. One of our neighbors, Bill Perry, Bill had the steamers first. I called him and I said, what do you think? I said, I think I gotta buy the same amount of steamers as I got balers. He said, if you're skeptical, buy one, put it on there. You'll order another one. So we did, we ran it, and that's what we did. We ordered another one. Our other neighbor, he came over and looked at it mid-season. I wonder if I can get one. He called the dealer, Stotz brought him one out, and within a week they were running a steamer. The other neighbor that I'm telling you is baling hay without it, he had 0 steamers last year. He has 2 big bale steamers and 2 small bale steamers on order right now. He doesn't want to bale hay without a steamer. He's a retail guy, sells 30, 40, 50,000 tons of retail hay. Huge difference with a steamer on a small baler. It's the biggest game changer in hay production there's ever been, period.